Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Michael.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Today is Tuesday.
Oh, I can have a taco.
That's right.
Oh, I literally had a taco yesterday. Taco Monday.
Okay, you're blowing my mind.
I'm so upset.
Mondays are quesadilla, Brian. I don't know
That's
how many
right.
times we have to go over this.
Sometimes, it felt like a Tuesday. That's what was going on for me.
Hey, Brian, I want to jump right into this because I'm very excited about our guest today. So we're going to go back just for our guest who's in the waiting room. Brian doesn't know who you are. And so we're going to play Guess the Guest, which is what we do weekly on a rigorous schedule every Tuesday at exactly this time.
Exactly.
Or Thursday or whatever time we feel like that particular week. Or sometimes we miss a week. Anyway, so here are your questions. Here are your hints. They gave me a lot of information, so this is great. This person loves old people candy.
Okay.
And although they got bullied in school, their parents helped write Polish comebacks. So that
David Pendleton. It's David Pendleton. Bring him on.
Have we had Dave on before?
We have him on right now, right?
No, it's not
Dave.
Dave.
It's not David Pendleton.
It's not David Pendleton. But I can't remember. Do we have him on this or not? I don't remember.
We've not.
Oh, okay. Well,
apparently it's not David Pendleton.
Well, you are in for a treat because
it's David Pendleton's dummy.
We have the amazing Dorie McLemore.
Dorie McLemore.
Hey, Dorie.
Hey,
Dorie, what's
How
up?
are you?
good to see you
I
guys.
can't hear you, Dorie.
Oh, you can't? Oh, what?
So we're having technical difficulties, Brian. Maybe you can help out here. Can you just give her her voice? What is she saying right now?
What?
I can't hear you either, Brian.
No, you. Are you joking? Are you joking?
Are you joking? I read very good lips.
You can hear me, can't you?
No, my friend's parents are deaf, and so I learned how to read lips. Stop it.
I'm really gullible. So
you're really gullible, so stop.
You can hear me.
I can hear you.
This is like the, what do you call it? Virtual joke. That was like the practical joke of interviewing online. So
what's more important right now is, Mike, you can hear me, right?
No, I can only hear Dorie. I'm answering your question. No, I cannot hear you. I'm reading your lips.
How are you, Dorie?
I'm good. I'm so good.
White castle there.
In the castle? Oh yeah.
Is it a whiteout? What's going on behind you right now?
It looks like a princess. It's my daughter's room. It's like the quietest room in the house. She actually doesn't live here anymore, so that's why it's so quiet. But it's honestly, it is so much ivy and flowers. I took some down before the interview because it does look like I'm trapped in a tower. And you should get help.
Have you thought of letting your hair out the window and see if somebody will climb up?
Yeah, it doesn't. It is first floor, so I'm lucky for that. Like I can just.
So you could actually, you could afford to go shorter if you wanted. So.
I could.
That's great.
I'd be remiss if I did not ask how your husband Brian is doing.
Oh, he's doing good. I told him that we'd probably be on today with me, so he was excited. He wanted to join us, but I said no.
And in all honesty, and Mike, you know this, I'm not a fan of Brian's with a Y, but
is he an exception?
I like Brian McLemore. He's all right. He's an all right guy.
He liked you too, Brian. So
I don't think I've ever met your husband, Dorie.
I don't think so. He came to one CCA like years ago.
Oh, okay.
Like I think my first one I went with my sister actually because she does some sketch comedy and we do some stuff together. And then like the next time I went, I think it was on the East Coast in Atlanta or yeah. And Brian went with me. And then I was like, you know what? I made friends here and I don't need you to come anymore. So he was, I was like, I'm going with my friends now.
I have a protective bubble of people. You're good. So.
I'm good.
Nice. That's great. Yeah. So what have you been up to recently, Dorie? I haven't actually really talked to you in like a year and a half.
I know, because you weren't at the CCA. We missed you. You were missed.
Oh,
I have been really busy this fall, so that's been exciting. Just I do a lot of stuff with Unknown Tour. I don't know if you knew or if it's unknown to you. No, just kidding. It's a women's.
One that's the first joke.
Did
First joke out of the bucket. Okay. I'll keeping a ticker over here. So.
Just to clarify, the actual name is Unknown Tour, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not describing the fact that nobody knows what it is.
Right. I realize we haven't even explained who Dorie is to anybody who's watching.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Let me, you know what? Hold on a second, Dorie. Ladies and gentlemen, a friend of ours who Brian and I have known for a few years. She's extremely funny, a great comedian, and a world-renowned speaker and author. Please welcome Dorie McLemore.
Yay! Awesome. All right.
Well,
now you know who I
you were saying the Unknown Tour?
Yes, I can explain it. Actually, I was at my daughter's football game. Well, she's a cheerleader, not a football player. But she we were watching, and there was the band came on, and there was is it the conductor? What it is? It's the same as a train. It's a conductor also. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
you mean the band engineer? Is that what
she had her like Letterman jacket on, and on the back it said Dorie, Dore with an apostrophe. So I've been trying to bring it out like I'm Dorie, not Dorie.
I am Dorie.
It sounds way higher class. Dorie.
It sounds very French, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so I thought.
Sometimes I go by Brian.
Well, I'll try, but I'm terrible at accents, so that would come out terrible. So
we're here with Dorie.
Dorie. So you were telling us, aside from painting all your rooms perfectly white, you're doing tours. You're out there being very busy.
So I was traveling with Unknown Tour a lot this last month or so. I mean, I've been with them for several years, but this last month has been a lot of those shows, and they're so much fun because we have 2 comedians on the show and then a speaker and a worship leader. So I'm always with another comedian. So that's kind of fun because, so it's like a lot of my friends. So that's really fun.
And I was going to ask you this question. Would you consider yourself your primary career as a speaker or as a comedian? I know they dovetail and you do both, but what would you consider yourself more of?
I think
or a painter.
A painter. I didn't even paint this room. I don't know who did, but no, more a comedian actually. I get asked to speak sometimes, and I'll do something at the end of a lot of the comedy. Like if they want something, like I'll end with a message. A very short message. And but I'm actually, and I have a license to preach, but I went in before my board when I first got licensed, and I told them I want to be licensed as a Christian comedian. And it was very intimidating. I thought for sure they were going to be like, we don't do that here. But they actually, the presbyter told me, the main guy or whatever said, you're really proof that God's still moving in our denomination because like, this is a fresh, like, new thing going on. And so they were super supportive, and so I can preach, I do preach, but it's not my, I don't have enough practice. I don't have as many opportunities to do it.
Dorie, just to be clear, because I've worked with you, when at the very, like you say, you do a message sometimes at the end, when you go peace out, that's not a message. It has to be more.
Yeah. No, okay. I don't do
peace
it.
Out, God bless is a little better, but
also I think that I know your speaking can be very inspirational, but I think the fact that your iPad doesn't work while you're speaking isn't like really inspirational. It's not like, that's not the key, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. You guys definitely have not seen me in my prime. No, I'm just kidding. I will say that I've told this story a couple times to my friends because it's so embarrassing, but I don't know why I like to just confess embarrassing things, but I did speak at a women's retreat, and I forgot to kind of really come up with the ending. I think I thought I'll leave it up to the Lord to like lead me. And at the end, I like blanked really hard. So I just asked for prayer requests from a room of like 150 people. And like, don't do that. Like, you just don't. And they're like raising their hand. I'm taking prayer requests, and I'm like, and they're getting worse and worse. Like, it's like, it was like, it was like, and my neighbor's cat, I mean, it was horrible. And then at one moment, I still couldn't figure out how to close it because I'm like, I don't know how to bring this around. So I literally said, anyone else?
After not learning the first lesson.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, let's open it up to people who were embarrassed to say it.
Mike, that's like a club comic going, what do you do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I was
Any
crowd
prayer
working
requests?
the retreat.
Oh boy, here we go. Don't go to the crowd.
Never. Yeah. And at the end, I could not remember a single request. So I just prayed for like, Lord, all the the needs. Like
Yeah,
I
right. Exactly.
And you know the needs, Lord. We didn't have to ask anybody any of this.
Everyone bow their heads, and when they did, you went, okay.
I should have had a whiteboard. I mean, honestly, it was so crazy. So
Okay, real
I love
quick.
that.
Anybody who's got a cat who's dying, raise your hand.
like, you were bringing up news stories. Like literally, we're just pulling stuff out of like there was a fire one. I mean, it was horrid. It was horrid. It was It was fun.
I love the prayer requests that result in people talking about each other through their prayer request. I would just like to pray that Barbara's halitosis is taken care of here soon or whatever. It's usually not that bad, but a lot of times it's like, okay, settle down, everybody.
My pregnant, you like talk trash about someone or
So Dorie, you sent a document, and this sometimes we get these with people with some information, but you sent a really complete document of a lot of cool information about you. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Some of these I want to go over because I especially like the first one that you wrote because it was you're scared of sharks, which is not terribly uncommon, I guess. But you also added the fact that and you're very suspicious of dolphins.
Yeah, I legit am. Like I'm like, they look like because we had the Flipper like character, they got this great rap, and I just feel like they look a lot like sharks. They they make fun noises, but they could be really, you don't know that they're nice.
Oh yeah.
Noises.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're saying.
Absolutely.
I think it's like here's what I think, Dorie. I think you believe like sharks are just full on murderers. And dolphins are more like Hannibal Lecter. They're geniuses, but they're really super evil on the inside.
They're like supposed to be one of the smartest, like what do you call it, sea animals. And I'm like, they could be diabolical. Like we don't know. And they actually can kill sharks. Little known fact here.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not so little known with the internet. But their noses, they kill sharks with their noses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's like they're ruthless. Like that should bother us, I think.
My favorite episodes always of Flipper is when Flipper had to go toe to toe with the shark. I was like, now we got some action.
Yeah. Now here's the chase scene of the Flipper series.
It was like as soon as one of the kids was in trouble, and then didn't happen, and then all of a sudden, no, and then
I think every kid of the 70s can relate to the fact that the best TV is when Flipper and a shark. Aside from, well, I guess this was the 80s maybe, but aside from when the Dukes of Hazzard tires squealed in the dirt, I think that's also big.
I could never watch Flipper because those are some of my two worst fears. So together, so I never.
A boy named Sandy and a dolphin.
I think it brings up the question though, Mike, who would win in a fight between the Dukes of Hazzard and Flipper?
Oh.
Well, he's got that nose,
Yeah.
Wait, are they on land? Because then the Dukes would win.
That's just it, because they're on dirt and he's in the water. So
never the two shall meet.
But there are two Duke boys, and they're good with bow and arrows. I don't know. It's a tough one. Dorie, want to weigh in? No?
It would just definitely the location is key here.
It is key. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll never know.
No.
All right.
So, what is your problem with holding balloons, Dorie?
I hate holding things at all. Like I don't like to hold things. And the thought of holding a lot of balloons and like you have to worry about them like getting tangled. And like I can imagine the people that have to hold the balloons and then someone wants to buy a balloon and you've got it like the balloon sellers, and then they have to find the right balloon and there's a lot of strings.
I believe they're called merchants.
balloon
sellers.
They have a name.
Balloon sellers.
Cousin to Peter Sellers. You're not afraid of floating away, right? You just don't like.
No.
Oh,
okay, no. So you would think that would be one of my fears, actually. And honestly, fear unlocked. Thanks a lot. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, I don't like holding things. I don't like to all the asking and grabbing and like, look, I want that one. I can't do it.
So let me ask you this. Do you have a problem if a balloon pops in front of you?
Yes. That is also a fear that you reminded me of. So I don't like balloons.
So when people start like grabbing them and you hear that squeak, are you like,
oh yeah. Yeah.
What about balloon animals though?
Terrifying. I had to do balloon animals for a kid's like a mission trip one time, and it was
dolphins
the
or
worst
just other dolphins or other animals.
There were fish. There were
a
fish.
balloon dolphin would be like paralyzing.
I know. Two fears together. Well, you know, honestly, I did do this Jonah and the whale. You can probably look it up online. It's really cool. I don't know how to do it now, and I can't believe I was able to do it without being afraid. But you actually like do this thing where you like have a little piece of the balloon and it gets stuck in the thing, and like it looks like Jonah and the whale, like it's a fish.
Oh, interesting.
I saw a doctor do the same thing with balloons, but he was doing the intestines.
Oh, well, that's interesing.
And then they blew. It was pretty bad.
Diverticulitis.
I'm not great at balloon animals, but I can do a spleen. That's kind of my.
Oh my gosh, that is horrible.
So we met you, Dorie, at CCA a few years ago, and so every time getting together we mentioned CCA quite a bit on this podcast, and most people would know that that's Christian Comedy Association, where we get together every year and tease each other, pretty much.
Yeah,
that's the extent of it.
For 2.5 days.
What you would imagine with like 100 comedians together.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, Mike, I'm just realizing something. I don't believe, and I thought for a second, yes, but it's wrong. Dorie is not a Denver omelet.
No, she's not.
She's not. You would have thought she would have been.
Yeah, you know what?
Present.
I think that was just prior to me meeting you, Dorie.
What was a Denver omelet? What is?
There is a specific group of us that were together when I made a joke about a Denver omelet, and then suddenly we became the Denver Omelets, and we had a writing group called the Denver Omelets.
Oh,
yeah.
What is the joke? Or is it a secret joke? Is it?
It's a little. I'm not gonna. For any purpose.
Just, we were at a restaurant and somebody asked what's in a Denver omelet, and Brian impersonated a character. I'll say a character, and explained what was in a Denver omelet, and it was funny. And so we
gave an answer.
So it was just a very silly in the moment thing, but for some reason it became a callback for the whole week. And then eventually,
it's an inside joke, but Dorie, you're on the outside.
Apparently,
and you wouldn't like it because when we're on the inside, we're like a balloon.
Yeah, I cannot.
Yeah. In the future, you know, it'll probably be another. I don't know what is it. I'll have to check the logbook, but I think in a year or two you'll become one of the cool people too, Dorie, and then you can be a Denver omelet.
I've got her. Movie. Wait a minute, I have the paperwork here, Mike.
Oh, okay.
It's 2020. It's 2026.
Oh, so you got a couple years.
Application.
It looks like May 12th for some reason.
Come on, I'm trying to do this.
Oh well, we'll talk to the committee.
He's trying to cross my fingers, but it definitely looks different. I'm sorry.
We'll try to move you up. I mean, we'll see.
So Dorie, we're gonna play a game with you. This is new for us. We haven't done it before, but we're gonna call it the reverse interview. Okay. So you're gonna get questions about Brian and I, and see if you know the trivia.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is hard.
My first question is about Brian to you. What is the name of his dry bar special?
Oh my god. Is it Asian Man, or is that just your CD?
Is that your answer?
Is that your answer? Is your answer a question?
Ask the question.
Oh, sorry. I'm not in Jeopardy.
That was her
I'm
answer.
Gonna say Asian Man, even though it's probably wrong.
Brian?
She is probably wrong. She is wrong.
That is incorrect.
She's wrong. The album is Secret Asian Man.
Oh.
The dry bar special is Japanese Bedtime Story.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
By the way, before we move on, I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to get Dorie's special called White Woman. And it's pretty good.
Oh my gosh. Secret
white woman.
Secret white woman.
I can't believe I forgot the most important word of that. The secret just Asian man. I don't know why. That's like the whole joke. Secret Asian man. Like that's the
Oh my
whole
gosh, you're right. It sounds like the song. I never thought of that. All right, Brian, your turn. You
All
get
right.
asked the trivia question.
Dory, for 5,000 points.
Oh, I'm
Can
gonna
you
lose.
name what branch of military was Mike in?
Oh
What branch of the service?
my gosh. I think it was Navy. Navy.
Ding, ding, ding. That's correct.
Wow.
Yay!
That was a good
Okay.
guess.
No,
And-
it's not a guess. I did remember that, but there was someone else
okay.
in a different
And
branch. I was getting
Just as a side note here, when Mike was in the Navy, Mike saw some dolphins.
I did. I
Were you
saw a lot of dolphins. Yep, and they would follow the ship along. They'd swim along with the ship all the time.
terrifying. They're trying to take it down with their
Mike,
noses.
We
Mike,
thought
forgive
they
me
were
if I'm
terrorists.
wrong.
We shot them all, actually.
Mike, am I wrong? But you were in charge of balloons, weren't you? Too.
I was a balloon tech. That was my job in the Navy.
You know when
Merchant.
when the ships go out, all the
Merchant, right.
balloons that let go. Mike had to blow all those up.
That's right.
And the
Well,
ship
his
just
mouth,
went
I'll
up
do
a little bit out of the water.
Yeah.
This is my last question about Brian for you, just to see if you know. Brian has 2 siblings, and where in the lineup does Brian fall? Is he the oldest, the youngest, or the middle?
All right. We talked about this.
Yes,
We talked.
that's
about
why I asked you, because I know
Yeah.
I know you heard this conversation.
No. Oh, I'm so mad at myself. I'm probably gonna get it wrong too. I think it's middle. Middle.
I am.
No.
I'm genuinely insulted at this point. Do I come off as a middle child?
She knows me way better than you so far. I will say.
And I
These are
spent
tough
more
questions.
time with Brian. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what. Brian has one more for me, but before that, I'll give you a follow up just to save you from getting that wrong. He's the youngest, by the way.
Oh.
But because you got that wrong, Brian and I a few years ago, unintentionally created a group of people that wrote together from CCA. What was the name of that group?
Denver omelets.
That is correct.
Yay!
Yeah.
I remember something from 2 minutes ago. That's awesome.
All right, one more question from Brian, and then we're
Three.
good.
All right,
Sorry.
Dory. Think. What is Mike's dry bar special called?
Oh my gosh. The Navy Dolphin.
The Dolphin Blue. That's
I'm
right.
the worst friend. Okay, so sorry. I don't remember like names of anything. I promise you.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
What is it called? I'm so sorry.
Ouch.
I should have done more research.
Can I just take a minute here? I've got to. My special is called Married and Confused.
Okay. I will remember that now.
Also, White Man is another name of it.
Married and confused.
Since we're talking about dry bar specials at the moment, your dry bar special is called Carbitarian.
Wow, you remembered that? I'm pretty impressed. You should have got it wrong on
Yeah.
purpose.
Well, that's what happens when you look it up. Anyway,
Yes, you knew.
I have actually
too.
watched your dry bar special.
I have two.
It's very good.
Thank
very good, Dory.
you.
It's fun. Yeah, if you get a chance, anybody go. If you get a chance, if you have dry bar, go and look at Dory's special.
Thanks. I was
Yeah,
actually. Did I ever tell you guys I was deathly ill that day? And I almost called. My husband was like, "I'm calling it off," and I was like,
I did hear that story. Yeah.
I did not know that.
I honestly did not know. Now it's a great excuse if you didn't like it. So, but he did. My daughter had a stomach flu before we left, and I did not think I had it, and I got there and definitely had it, and so I basically infected all of the dry bar staff. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. But
That's
yeah,
when the pandemic happened, Mike.
exactly.
Yeah.
I brought it with me. So
Dry bar became the dry heaves.
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Dory, you last time I saw you is a while ago, but you were very generous and gave me a copy of your book. Hope it looks good on you, and it's a great book. Brian has a copy of it right with him.
No way. You didn't even know I was the guest. How is that possible?
He pulled
How
it
is that
out
possible? Who knows?
because it sits on his desk.
Sits on my desk every day. I'm on this thing.
I brought that home and I have not read it. I'll be honest with you, but my wife read it.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she did, and she loved it. Yeah, she loved it, and I actually went to find it before this so I could hold it up like Brian is, and I can't find it. So she read it, and I think she gave it to somebody else to read.
Oh,
Mike,
good.
can I read something randomly from the book?
Yes, please. Wait. Let me tell you what to read first, and then you read your random thing. But I'd like you to go to page 12 and read the second paragraph.
Page 12, second paragraph.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever heard of Amish friendship bread? Me neither. That is until my mother-in-law gave me the beginning of what would become my dough hatchery.
Hatchery, yeah. The Amish bread hatchery, yeah.
Yep.
I remember that part being very inspirational.
I just randomly stumbled. I randomly stumbled across this from page 78. I had no idea what to pack and what to eat while camping. I didn't know why I thought we could only eat food out of cans, as if we're settlers traveling the Oregon Trail. Did they have canned foods back then? I don't know. That is very much you, Dorie.
Yeah.
That is so you. That's great.
Hey, I literally just brought Dinty Moore beef stew for our camping trip, but literally cannot eat it again.
There's a whole chapter on the thumbprint, Mike.
Yeah.
The Dinty Moore cans.
Oh,
is he really that large? How big of a person is this? Where does he come from? It is without.
I don't know. I brought only canned food. I don't know why we thought it was like the early settlers. That's funny.
Specifically the Oregon Trail. So
yeah, exactly.
It's either like early.
You have died of dysentery and a really bad cut on your thumb.
The Dinty Moore.
I thought, am I prepping for like? I packed meals like I was prepping for like a natural disaster. Yeah, end times camping. It's the new thing.
Yeah, because you might need that tin can for something else later.
It was so silly. Yeah.
I would be remiss now that we're talking about this and your writings, Dorie, that you are absolutely one of my favorite comics though, because you're a little different in your delivery and your jokes too. And I don't know, like I've told you this before, I don't know how much is you or a character, but knowing you, it's you.
Yeah. My favorite part of you, Dorie, watching you perform, actually even just talking to you, is like getting on a roller coaster because you don't know how it's going to be. You don't know. I mean, it's going to be fun. We know that, but we don't know where it's going to go. And it's just, it's not like, where roller coaster is going to go. This is like getting on a spaceship with broken guidance fins. You don't know what's going to happen or where it's going to go to. Yeah.
You don't know.
At some point, you're going to land on something.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. I know that.
I realize a lot of my stories start with, I didn't realize, or I didn't know. And it's like, how much do I not know? Like it's
like, for example, here's a good example, Dorie. You just recently found out that ink does not exclusively come from octopus.
How did I think they were harvesting? Like, how could big pens be so cheap? Like, why is like
there's an octopus farm somewhere?
How can pens be so cheap?
I was like, must be so hard to get. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. How we could other than ink.
My question is, how did you think they inked them? Like, you just keep scaring them, like so they ink themselves, or somebody milking them?
I don't understand what I was thinking.
Where did you think red ink came from?
Red octopus. That's from a squid, I believe.
Yeah, that's a different sea animal. That is so dumb. I know.
Don't even get me started on highlighters.
The groups you travel with, you do the Unknown Tour.
Yeah.
And is that, tell us a little bit more about that. What is that? What does that consist of as far as if somebody's going to go see an Unknown Tour show, what are they going to see?
So they're going to see, and usually there's an opening comedian or sketch comedy. And then there is, I don't know the exact order of everything, but then there's usually like worship and a speaker, and there's usually an intermission, and then there's a second comedian kind of closes the show. So
Oh, okay.
that's sort of the night. It's like a 2.5 hour show.
Right.
In the evenings, usually a Friday or Saturday is when they have them. And yeah, that's
And
really
Aspire is another one. And that's now, is the Unknown Tour, is that mostly like women's groups and things that you
yes.
Okay.
Basically exclusively, like it's
Okay.
women's groups, and they bring, I don't know, Lauren Lucille is a producer on that show, and she's incredible, and she brings in the craziest, funnest women. Like, I just love the crowds because they come in ready to have a great time, and they're just so much fun. We have a lot of fun together.
We should have Lauren on
Most of them
sometime, Brian.
most of them come straight from their wine group, though.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It
Maybe.
feels that way. It feels that way. They're crazy. I don't know where she finds them all, but they're just awesome.
It would be fun to have
kidding.
her on sometime.
They're all,
I haven't
they're
done
all
that.
Christian women, so they're all coming from communion.
Exactly.
And
comedian.
Aspire is another one that I know that one's, it seems like I used to hear more about Aspire than I have recently, but that's another women's group.
Yes.
And that's just comedians, right?
No, actually, it's more Bible teacher focused. So there's like a Bible teacher, a worship leader, and then one comedian. So
okay.
I think a lot of the women come for that one they do still love the comedy, but they're big on the Bible teacher. I usually have my table with my books next to the Bible teacher, and it's so sad because I'm just sitting there and like the women, like there's a line, like a celebrity line for the Bible teacher, and I'm just like, hi,
yeah.
That's why you're not selling is that popsicle.
What are the blush events? I'm not familiar with that. I don't know that I've heard of that before.
That's a man's event. That's a man's event.
That's exclusively man.
The blush
men
are my sister. My sister and I started kind of our own. We've been doing comedy separately for a long time. She actually does all like sketch comedy. She's got hilarious videos. Her name's Miss Yvonne.
Wait a minute. Why are we talking to Dorie and not the sister, Mike?
Yeah, she sounds hilarious.
She's a Denver omelet.
She would be a Denver omelet.
She's been a Denver omelet since day one. No.
That's not fair. But she's amazing, and she does a lot of big blush events at her home church. It's Bayside out in California. And but she's been doing sketch comedy. I've been doing stand-up comedy for like over 15 years, both of us. And so we kind of combined forces, and we've done a few events together.
That's over 30 years of comedy experience, just for those keeping track.
That's right.
Thank you, because I didn't do the math on that. So, but yeah, so we do, so we've done several blush events, and we have a blushevent.com is our website. And we do, so she does the sketch part, and I do the stand-up comedy part, and then we kind of do something together. That's kind of fun. So
cool.
Yeah. Multimedia.
Let's see what else. Oh, there was something else. The Funny Together.
I think
we're all part of that. I haven't done any Funny Together shows, but I know I'm on the roster.
So I'm doing 2 this month of Funny Together shows, and then I'm also doing 2 Aspire weekends coming up here too. So
good. And people can find out where that's at by going to doriecomedy.com.
You would think, Mike, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you think that? My web designer is me, and that's why that's not on there. So
okay, I get you.
But you could look up Aspire, and they have my show. They have me on there. Funny Together has their, and Unknown Tour has.
So if you're interested in seeing Dorie anywhere, people just spend just a few hours researching and Googling.
You have a better chance too of just yelling out your window.
Exactly.
Does anybody know when Dorie McLemore is performing anywhere?
Exactly.
It worked for Rocky in the first 4 Rocky movies, just yelling out the window.
It did.
Oh yeah. I think that would be the best way, really.
Yes, Mike. I got to do a couple events with Dorie this year for
Funny Together.
Yeah, Funny Together, and then that's where I got to hang out with Dorie's husband, and then
okay.
And got to eat really like a massive amount of ice cream for really cheap.
Yes.
And Dorie bought.
Brahms. I bought because it's so cheap.
And we got to see
and we took them
it's on me. I'm like, can you spare the $1.73? And she's like, yeah, I got it. I got that kind of money.
Well, honestly, we took him to Whataburger. That was.
I'd been to Whataburger.
Oh, you have. That's right. Ron that had not been to Whataburger.
It was a very. You even said it was the nicest Whataburger you'd ever been to.
I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was.
Where was this at?
This was
on the way home from Longview, Texas.
Texas,
so.
yeah.
Oh.
They had a motorcycle in there and a bunch of Beatles memorabilia, and Rhonda had never had a Whataburger, and she was just like, it was crazy. And there's food flying all. It was really a pleasure to watch.
Yes.
Rhonda is the one that heads up Funny Together, and she's a mutual friend of all of ours. So yeah.
Rhonda Corey.
Rhonda Corey. Let's see. What else, Brian? What else do you have for Dorie?
Well, I will say that Dorie likes to play board games, and so when we were at her house, we played a couple board games, and Brian and I won.
What did you play?
Yes.
I don't recall the name of it. I'd never played it before, and people were angry that I did so well.
Was it Sequence?
Yeah. Brian and I won, and I will tell you, Dorie's very competitive.
I can be.
She doesn't like to lose.
I don't like to lose. I hate when that game. I actually don't like that game. I do like it, but I hate that I'm not good at it. Like
that's the card game, right? Where you're playing.
Well, it's like Connect 4, but the board is like this. Not really Connect 4. I mean, you basically Connect 5.
Yeah.
Isn't it Sequence though? You have to when you're playing cards and you're trying to match the card to the spot on the board.
Yes. Yes.
When I said it's a card game, you said no, and then tried to explain. But it is a card game.
Okay, there are cards.
You are very similar to another woman I know, my wife.
Oh no!
The first response is no. It's this, and then she says exactly what I just said.
I'm sorry. I meant it's not like a card, like you're holding them and you're like playing cards.
Right. I understand.
There are cards involved, though. That's fair. Or my daughter would say facts or valid.
No cap.
Yeah. She doesn't.
I learned that phrase was a year ago at a comedy club and for some reason that's the only that's the one I go to is like I'm cool, I can say this, no cap.
Yeah
I know.
And I remember when Mike learned it at first, he was a little sus, but he's okay now.
Oh my gosh. Yes. No, I'm trying. Honestly, my kids at one point were at the table. We were playing Sequence actually, and my son and daughter just started speaking complete Gen Z, like, and I was looking like, oh my gosh, am I in the Twilight Zone? Like I was like, what are you guys saying? And they were laughing hysterically at me. But anyway, I didn't know.
I love that my kids don't speak like that. But if I do, they go, come on. And I'm like, this is how you sound. So I think that's why they don't do it.
Like, activity is something, and I don't know what it means. So I could be cussing right now. I don't know. You might need to
be honest. If my kids actually said like, that's totally awesome and rad, I'd be like, get out.
These are our words, and they stood the test of time. Cool, awesome. They're out there for a long, long time.
Well, but people say, "Wow, that mountain was just awesome." Nobody says, "No cap, that's a rad mountain."
I don't see us saying that in the future either. I don't. Yeah. I remember actually back in the day when we had the 80s hair, and it was like literally, the high bangs. I remember even then looking in the mirror and saying, this is not a classic look. Like, this is
not going to stand the test of time.
Yeah. I was a prophet, I know, but I was like, this is not a classic. Like,
I think it's funny is like when you said 80s hair, of course I thought of the big hair perms and all that, and your dad having a perm and all of that. But I thought when you also say 80s hair, I was thinking, I wonder what my 80s hair is going to look like. It's probably going to be white and a cul-de-sac. There's two versions of 80s hair.
When we're 80, we're closer to that now, I think, than the actual 80s. We're close to our 80s.
I want 80s hair and 80s.
I got to show you guys something. This is going to be a little behind the scenes, but because I have a second camera in here, and so this will be stark because you'll think that's not the same room, but it is. I just want to show you. This is what my back of my head looks like now.
Wow, you have a decent amount of hair though.
Yeah, but it's totally. You can see my scalp now.
All right, maybe it's a shadow. The shadow is helping you.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Well,
anyway,
Mike, if it's worth anything, I started noticing that during Brian and Mike's comedy experiment.
Did you?
I did. And it was which was right around my birthday, so I didn't say anything.
Yeah. It's thinning. It'll be kind of gone, but my hair's turning more and more white. So I think it'll blend in nicely.
Yeah.
I think just I'm putting it out there. Bring back the toupee, Mike.
Bring it back.
No one's wearing toupees anymore.
I think you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to wear a yarmulke.
That is that. I wonder if that's how it started.
It's so much easier just to convert, Mike.
I mean, we could go through the book of Leviticus a little bit and show you that that's not how it started. But
okay. Well, you never know. Actually, my husband just went to Pakistan. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say it. The Middle East on a mission trip a few months ago, and the leader of the mission trip actually came back. They flew through Istanbul. Am I saying that right?
So, Brian, just to clarify, he went on a mission trip, but she's not supposed to say. The one little hint we have is it starts with Pakistan. But aside from that, you're not supposed to know what it is.
He's already home safe, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know if it matters, Mike, but I think she was saying pack his bags and went on a trip.
And
then he came home. She has a weird way of talking sometimes.
But the leader actually got
anybody watching this. If you have a guess of the country that starts with Pakistan, go ahead and put it in the comments. We'll see if you can get it right.
Oh my gosh! So he, his leader actually got hair plugs done in Istanbul because it's like way cheaper. So it's like just a few $1,000s instead of like 20 or 30.
It's totally worth risking your life.
Hair plugs. People do it all the time. They really do.
Yeah.
Nose jobs yeah. So just saying, if you get like, I just have to do something.
But that region of the world, actually, the best hair comes from out of that area.
I think so.
I mean, most wigs and everything else.
I think you're right. I actually bought
Sure.
hair extensions from a mall kiosk one time. Mm-hmm. And just because I asked a question, like if they can get me to ask a question, I will buy whatever they're selling. And so I cannot ever ask them questions anymore. And so I bought like so much hair, and I was walking around the mall with like a box of women's hair from all around the world. And I was like, it sounded like a perk at first when they said it's human hair. And then I was like, wow, it's real, and then I was like, that is so gross. Like, I can't imagine. I couldn't do it. But I came home and I had a pretty big receipt. It was a lot. And so I had to wear it to prove to my husband that I wanted this for real. And that, so it was summer in Texas. So I was like, I did not think that through either.
And then your husband grabbed the receipt, right? And he was looking at it to see what you bought. And when he got to the line that said hair on it, you're like, look at this receipt hairline. And then he went crazy. He said, you're taking it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just so you know.
So, Dorie, you're probably not an avid watcher of the Morning Laugh, but for those of you who are, I have a game here called "What Has Changed in Brian's Office." I don't have a nice, cool graphic intro for this, but for those of you who might guess, you can put it in your comments or whatever. But what has changed since last week in Brian's office?
It looks like there's a telescope. Oh my gosh, that's the microphone. Never mind. I thought there was a telescope in the back.
No, it's my microscope.
Never mind. There's not a telescope. Apparently, I have people with depth perception.
Last time we mentioned this item a little bit, I think, or this collection of items, but it's not there anymore. I noticed.
Oh, well, yeah. This is not turned on like last week.
No, that's true. That was on last week.
And I put new batteries in. Oddly enough, the batteries I put in were your son Austin's batteries that were just part of a collective bag that you gave me.
Oh, really?
And surprisingly, they still work. So
we're going to go out and visit him. My son lives in Oklahoma. We're driving out there from Phoenix on Thursday.
Oh.
We do that twice a year to see him and 4 of our grandkids. So we're looking forward to that.
Mike, are you driving through Texas?
We are driving through Texas.
Make sure you wave to Dorie.
Please.
Through the Panhandle.
Yes. And ask, where are you going to be performing?
Yeah. Which is the best way to find out where Dorie's performing.
That's right.
The best part is if she hears you, she will answer.
That's right. I can tell you where I am going to be next week. That's
That's it.
Where are you next?
Also, if you want to, Dory, you could just share your Google Calendar with everybody,
Oh,
and then
that's
everybody
good.
knows they'll know when you're grocery shopping. They'll know when you're doing everything.
Yeah.
That is a good plan. I could do
Go
that.
to Facebook and do at everyone, because everyone loves that.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, yeah.
I do that a lot, actually. So, but I'm gonna be this weekend in Ohio and Pennsylvania with Aspire.
Oh,
So,
good. All right.
yeah,
Sounds like she's running for office.
Yeah, yeah. She's holding a rally in Pennsylvania. Ah,
Make dolphins great again.
Like,
I'm kidding. That's Mike's campaign.
oh yeah, I'll be performing for the Amish in Pennsylvania.
yeah, that's right. I've done a show for Amish. It was fun. A lot of fun. It was for a company. I had 2 shows over a weekend, but it was for a company. But 90% of their employees are Amish. So, but they all came out to the show, and it was a lot of fun. I had a great time. Yeah.
Well, I actually got an Amish donut at the state fair this week, but they were not Amish people back there, so I don't know what made it Amish.
They were made of wood. No, I don't know.
It's wood shavings, I think. They go down easier.
All right, Dory. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What you watching? What is the thing that you've been watching on streaming services or YouTube or television, or a movie you just recently saw that you loved, or anything like that?
Outside of Mike's dry bar and my dry bar.
Yeah,
What,
right. Besides Navy Dolphins and
The,
Asian Man,
and then
what have you watched?
And then, of course, the HBO series Balloons.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is gonna sound a little lame, but so we just found Young Sheldon. We really like it. My husband and I have been.
Sound lame, Mike? Does that sound lame to you? It sounds lame.
It doesn't. Were you a fan of Big Bang Theory?
Okay, so that's the funny part, is that this is gonna sound so over spiritual, but I was like, oh my gosh, that's not a Christian show, because not that I only watch Christian shows, but I was like, we don't believe in the Big Bang Theory, so I wouldn't watch it like for years. And then I found it more recently, and I was like, wow, this is a really funny show, and they don't always just talk about evolution, so I guess I'm okay watching it. So I started watching that, but then it was off of all the streaming services, so I've only been able to catch a few episodes on a plane and like, just, but then when we found Young Sheldon, we were like, oh, it was really funny, and good show. And it's like in the 80s, it's like,
yeah. I've never watched Young Sheldon. I was told by many people, "Oh, you should watch The Big Bang Theory. You'll love it," because I'm a tech guy and that sort of stuff. But I did not love it. I thought it was extremely dumb.
What?
Yeah, I just thought I felt like this is one of those you know what it is? It's not even that the show is dumb. It just felt like felt like just watching an old 90s sitcom that I've seen 1,000 times. It just felt like it was just shallow and dumb.
I believe it's
a lot to like.
Well, then don't watch Young Sheldon on my recommendation.
Right. It was like Friends to me was the same way. I never thought
Big Bang Theory is Friends if they were smart.
That's so true. That's true.
A lot of people think they're not dumb.
Oh my gosh, that's really good. I
know it's very good, but I try not to do the impressions too much.
So is there anything else, Troy, you've been watching?
So good. So I watch a lot of reels on Instagram. I know that's lame too. I got to where I was like, I'm just sending like, if I send you a bunch of reels, I'm procrastinating something like huge. Like I am like definitely just on there being dumb. But I will, and then I get mad. My daughter will like get where she hasn't watched them, and I make her watch them with me, like sitting down if she hasn't watched them. And my oldest daughter has told me now that she will only hit like on the one she actually likes of mine, and then that way I can know for future reference what not to send to her.
So she's a very honest person. She's
like, yeah, I want you to
only hit like on the ones I like.
Right. So
Dory, so now that you said that, I have to ask, like, what is your go-to thing that you like? Like, one thing I love animals singing and people that play instruments with them. That's one of my favorite things ever. And then babies falling down and running into things. It's just hilarious to me.
oh my gosh, that's really good. I don't want to I want you to
Only at like on the ones I like.
my favorite is people that jump scare other people. I don't know why I can't get enough of that.
Oh, fake scares are great too.
Oh yeah, the fake scare. Yeah,
when they're just and everybody freaks out in the room. That's my favorite too.
I actually love those, but I won't send them to anyone because I scare easily. And so I thought if I send this to my husband, because they're hilarious watching them flip out. And I thought if I send this to him, he will do this so mercilessly that it's not like if I walk in front of our car, he will blow the horn just to see my reaction. And it's just so, he has videos of me being scared and it's bad. So, and I won't let him put them on anywhere.
They're funny. So. I can't help but laugh at those.
Well, I hate to pop this balloon in front of you.
This dolphin balloon.
And I also like animal. I mean, I didn't think I liked animals that much, but now I'm a really big animal lover. And because my youngest daughter loves dogs. So anytime I see a dog video that's funny or fun or sad or sappy or whatever, not them getting hurt, I can't send those to her or I wouldn't watch them anyway. But I send those to her. And so my algorithm is all like puppies and proposals. I love proposals. So, and my husband's are all like people getting hurt. There's like, a lot of sports videos and stuff. So we don't have the same algorithm at all.
I think it's nothing funnier than watching people get hurt. Although, I remember when America's Funniest Videos were on or any of those things or even online for some reason, and it's not because I have some altruistic tendency of this or anything. I can't stand watching women or children getting hurt, but watching guys get hurt, I can watch it all day long and crack up. Like I see a little kid get like hit in the head. I think, well, that's sad.
I know.
Or a woman or whatever, but watching guys just it just cracks me up every time.
You're misinterpreting what I said earlier. Babies running around, walking into a wall. Boom. It's the funniest thing you ever get.
That is funny, but that's not really getting hurt. I mean, they'll show some kid with a T-ball hit a kid in the head with a bat, and it's like, that's not funny. That's just
when
awful.
You mentioned America's Funniest Home Videos. They used to it was always terrible because I think some of those people, it felt like they got killed or really something else, and Saget at the end, who will you vote for? Decapitated dad. It's like,
the little summary titles they give these
videos. Vote for that, America. That's terrible.
Do you know my video was on America's Funniest Videos back years ago? Yeah. I did not I was not a finalist. But my husband sent it in without asking me. But I was bathing our son and daughter, our firstborns, and I had my feet in the water, so I was kind of washing them. And he came in with the camera, and I didn't want him to record me, so I moved back away from the tub, and I fell backwards with my feet in the air. And the same moment, I let go of my daughter's hands because I fell, and she fell back and put her feet in the air. And it was like we did this together movement. And then my son thought it was so cool because his little baby sister dunked under the water like she did on purpose or something. And he just stood up and he goes, "Yeah, she dunked under her," like that. And it was just so. If you see that, that's us. So I still get calls sometimes from family and friends that see a rerun of it or something. And they're like,
and Bob Saget called that one synchronized swimming.
That would have been a good one.
And then by Brian McLemore, Brian with a Y.
It was actually the next guy. I forget, not Bob Saget. It was the next guy's. I don't know the next guy's name, but I should know his name.
Oh, Tom Bergeron.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was trying to remember who was next, but yeah, you're right. It was Tom Bergeron.
America, I talk with my head and I move my body.
How do you know these things, Brian? How do you know?
That's what I do.
Do you know, I don't even know if that's the guy. I just said yes because I don't
Tom
know.
Bergeron.
Because it was easier than continuing a conversation with you, Brian. Just agree.
Mike already fact checked me. So.
I did. That is who was next. All right. Well, Dorie, where can people find you? You already said yell out your window. And you have a couple things coming up next. Tell everybody exactly the name of your book and where they can find that. Sure. We brushed over it a couple times.
Sure. It's called Hope Looks Good on You. A comedian's daily devotional for women. I had to cheat. I forgot the tagline of my book. Oh my gosh. But it is on Amazon or anywhere books are sold, but also on my website, doriecomedy.com. People can get a free 3-day version of it just by putting your email address and selling your soul to me. So that'd be great. Just kidding. But
Too much.
Again, that's DorieComedy.com.
yes. And all my social media handles are at Dorie Comedy. Yeah, I do have pictures in that book and everything. One of them has a picture of me as a mute hunchback in a school play. So
Oh yeah. So
Well,
if you want to see
get
that,
the book.
go. You can't see it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Dorie, you're doing so great out there. We're happy for you. I really am, and you are such a great person to know. Just always full of sunshine and everything. I know your career goals aren't what you. I believe you wanted to be an Amway distributor, if I was not mistaken.
Yes. Growing up, my parents were Amway distributors, and I just noticed that they would save all the good snacks for the people coming over to do those meetings, and they had the big flip chart.
Yeah,
and I was like, I want in on those meetings, and I want the snacks, and that's what I thought that was. And I'd always try to get downstairs and do the flip chart and play with
Amway. I mean, Amway is 80% snacks, 20% soap. That's how I thought about it.
That's true.
We had all the things, all the soaps, we had all the stuff.
Anything else you want to share with everybody before we get out of this?
I mean, you mentioned the Polish comebacks, and I feel like that was kind of a cliffhanger thing. So I feel like I do need to
tell us about that. What you were bullied in school, but your parents taught you Polish comebacks.
Yeah. So I would come home crying to my parents because I got bullied all the time because I started a new school with a perm that my dad gave me, and it looked like I was from a senior living center. Like I had like a granny perm, and it's never come into style. Like it's horrible.
Oh, you had 80s hair in
yes,
the
80s. 80s ladies hair. Yeah.
80s ladies hair.
People saw you and thought, I'll bet her name is Beulah.
I was forward thinking back then, forward fashion. But my dad, so I started a new school like that. So I was mercilessly teased, which I honestly, looking back at pictures, I should have been. Like I was definitely, they were right. But I would come home crying, and then they I guess they got like tired of the hair jokes, and they started telling Polish jokes, which I don't even think is a thing anymore. But I came back, and my dad was like, got offended because he's he's all Polish, and he was like, did you tell them about Copernicus? And he was like he was
home with historic facts.
Yeah, that'll get them.
Polish facts.
That'll teach those seventh graders.
Hey, Copernicus.
Oh, I went into school next day like, this is gonna sting so bad. And I was like, but do you know Copernicus? And it didn't go over well. It didn't.
Boom.
So.
You've been served.
Boom.
Boom. Copernicus.
Look.
Man, it was a pleasure having you, Dorie. Thanks so much for joining us today. It was a real treat.
Thank you, Dorie.
And Brian did know you were coming on. We were fooling. Normally he doesn't. Normally I keep it a secret from Brian, but I was excited to have you. Plus, I wanted to make sure that we were able to promo this as having you on, because I know you can use the hits.
Yeah, I could.
Dorie, were you surprised by my acting skills?
I was very good.
Just to clarify, this is the only time Brian's known everybody. Every other time, it really was a secret. He did not know.
You looked confused, and
I did. I was like, "What? Where am I? Who am I? What's going on?"
Awesome.
We're gonna wrap up. Dorie, can you hang on for a minute? And thanks everybody for joining us. We will see you next week. Maybe we may have to miss a week or two because I'm going to be out of town, but we'll see.
Yeah,
you just, as usual, just keep looking and see what happens. We're kind of like Dorie. You just have to guess.